What up, Prof Leaders? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're on Hadfield Street, so I want to show you what's happening here on Hadfield Street in Georgetown. The reason why I'm here on Hadfield Street is to draw two things to your attention. One is that there is some development going on here. You know, they're changing these avenues one by one, in this case installing some deck chairs, right? So deck chairs, and that's a pergola. I'm going to walk down a little bit and show you some of what's happening in this neck of the woods. So this is Hadfield Street, and some of the developments in this neck of the woods is that they're installing deck chairs on the avenue, this path between the two halves of the street. This is a pergola, so they're installing, you know, like a little bit of shade and places to sit and so on. So this is what it looks like in this neck of the woods. But what I want to do today is to address some of the questions that were raised in the comment section of the last video that I posted. That's walking down the new parking lot that they were building on Lamaha Street, and to give some people who seem not yet to fully understand what's happening in Guyana a clearer picture of what's going on down here. So this channel, Raffle Nation, it's a channel where we talk about politics, economics, food and fun, and in season 12 I promised that I would place a lot more emphasis on economics, on business development, because in season 12, Guyana, that is, season 12 starts July and runs until December 2022, and Guyana is now emerging as the fastest growing economy in the world, right? The GDP is growing at north of 50%, so like 52% economic growth last year and this year, just as I predicted, in fact, 5 years ago when we started talking about oil and gas. So what has happened is that the Sovereign Wealth Fund has now reached $1 billion in 2 years. So remember, the Sovereign Wealth Fund and the contract with ExxonMobil was signed by the coalition government. And during the last campaign, the current government threw in a lot of misinformation and noise into the debate. You know, they said that the contract was only a 2% contract, and how they were going to renegotiate the contract when they took over, and spread a whole lot of lies and misinformation. I have argued in my videos, if you go back you can see half a dozen videos where I argue that the contract is not only a good contract, it's in fact the best deal that Guyana could have gotten. It's a profit sharing contract, and the result of that profit sharing contract is that we have 52% of the profit, while Exxon gets 16%. CNNOC, that is China offshore oil company, gets 16%, and Esso gets the remaining 16%. So that is how the contract divides up. And the Sovereign Wealth Fund, which is now hosted at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, has now surpassed $1 billion because the oil production has increased from its start at around 120,000 barrels per day to now 340,000 barrels per day, and two FPSOs, right, floating platform for storage and offloading vessels. Two of them are in operation, and Exxon is rapidly ramping up production to towards 1 million barrels per day by the end of this decade, which means that Guyana could be earning about $7 billion annually, $7.5 billion annually from oil and gas. So that is a backdrop for me saying, in this season, this is season 12, I'm going to talk mostly about business and economics, how the country is growing fast, and what I am doing, what you should be doing to take advantage of the growing economy here in Georgetown Guyana, the fastest growing economy in the world. But there's some issues apparently that people still don't understand. One, for example, is the fact that there are a lot of immigrants coming into Guyana. That is a small family, most likely of Spanish people from Venezuela, and Brazilians are everywhere in Georgetown. So one aspect is that people still don't understand that the population is growing very, very rapidly because of an influx of people from South America and the Caribbean. The second point that people seem not to understand is the politics of it, right? I explained that the government, that is a new government led by the PPPC, have taken a kind of archaic approach to governance where they are preventing certain people from getting access to land, and people think that, you know, this is racism and I'm making a big deal of racism. It's not so much that it's racism, it's that it's backwards and stupid, because I explained before